All right, here we go. Mike, I'm out here. What's cracking with everyone? This is gonna be a video of how I installed this CD player with my stock tape deck. I used to have a 3-disc Alpine changer there, but it didn't work anymore. And yeah, I never put a CD player in this car because it was difficult, as there's a amp down here, which, yeah, that throws a lot of people for a loop, and that's what just kept this tape deck in here for a long time. But yeah, you know, I have CD players that were just laying around, and I was like, you know what, let me figure this out. So I bought this harness. It's for 87 and up Toyota. It's just the 2-plug harness. There's some other ones out there. There's one with some RCAs, which could have also worked, but I had already bought this harness, so I was trying to figure it out, and I did. And yeah, I think it does work good, maybe for most people out there, but it's probably just a hookup issue. There was another video on the internet of someone doing this, and they hooked one of these hot wires to this green wire over here, and that's what I did, because, you know, I watched their video and they had 11,000 views, and I said, okay, that probably is what I need to do, and then it wasn't. So don't always trust YouTube people. I guess don't trust me either. But this is just what worked for me, and you know, that was probably just what worked for dude, but I don't know how good it worked for him. Maybe he had to turn off the stereo manually every time, because I think he said hook it to the red one, which, and you know, all these wire things, they switch back and forth. It could have been red on his kit and it was yellow on mine. For this kit that I bought, it wasn't the name brand one. It was the one that was $5 instead of $9. So the wires could be different, I'm not sure. But in my knowledge of doing car stuff, I have seen the ones where the yellow is the constant 12 volts, but in my mind it was supposed to be the accessory. Like this one was supposed to be the one, the yellow is supposed to be the one, in my mind, the one that gives power when you turn the key on and off, and the red one's supposed to be the constant power. But like I said, radios, all wiring harnesses, they just switch it around, so it could be either or. Right, so the video he had it going to the red, blah 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 blah. I also saw another dude do a video where they had the remote wire involved. I also just had that involved, but before hooking it up to my hookup right here, where I got a yellow, I don't know if anyone's following this, hopefully you are, or hopefully you will. I had the remote wire hooked up, but I said, you know what, let me leave this off because it might not need to be hooked up, and I don't think it does. So I would have put this wire on the other side, but I didn't. There's a blue wire here that's looped, and I was like, that's very interesting. That looks like some type of turn on amp type wire. So, but at first I thought it was this remote wire, so I had it just hooked up to the remote. Then when I hooked up the stereo, I'm like, no, there's no power. I did have this tape deck still hooked up, and I had my wiring harness in the back of it, so I was getting no power on the CD player. I mean, I was getting power on the CD player, but no sound. And then when I hit the button here, it was turn on this for a second, and then I turned it off and the amp was on. This was activating the amp. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll just do that. But yeah, that ended up blowing a fuse in the back of the radio. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out, because I wasn't gonna keep doing that. So I wanted to just tell people what I did real quickly. but it got complicated. So yeah, I bought this wiring harness, the 2 wires. One has the speakers, the rear speakers, and one has the other stuff. So yeah, that blue one, I thought it was a remote wire, but I was like, you know what? The more I looked at it, I said, you know what? It's probably to turn on the amp. But I thought the remote wire could still be involved. That's why when I tested it, I had it all hooked up. But before I put it back together, I was like, you know what? That just doesn't look right. I don't know if I need the remote wire. And so I turned it on and it worked. So what I did was I connected a wire from the blue to the yellow. So you can see the yellow. I added on this wire and I connected that to the blue. So yeah, or you could just probably just connect the blue and the yellow together and then connect to the yellow. That's what I did. Connect this blue to this yellow somehow. You don't have to have this wire in between. You know, I don't know, you could do it better. Maybe I will have to hook up this remote wire still. I'm gonna leave it off if I don't need it hooked up. I'll probably find out I need to hook it up at some point, but there's that for right now. So I didn't have to cut into this, even though I did. I didn't have to cut into this stock harness on the green, like dude said. That's just for me though. This is a 1995 Previa supercharged LE. It has the amp. All right. So I did just buy this kit. They have one with the RCAs that might work if you have 4 RCAs in the back. I only have 2. I was about to buy one of those kits with the RCAs and just use another CD player, but I came out here and said, you know what, let me try to figure this out. So I think I figured it out. Long talk there, but so yeah, I wired it up all like it's supposed to be. The gray to the gray black, you know, the gray, the white, red, the red, all that lined up. Everything was perfect except for this blue one. I didn't know where that blue one went, but what I'm thinking is, yeah, it goes to the yellow. Hook that blue up to a key on. But if your red is key on, then just do that. But mine was yellow, key on, key off, because I had it to the red at first, and then it was staying on when I turned the car off. So I don't really need that. All right, that's a long talk we had there, when you could have just told them just hook this blue wire up to the yellow. But it's still kind of in a testing phase here, even though I think I got it all figured out. What we're gonna do now is connect it all back together. I should be able to still work my stock stereo, but I don't want it to be on at the same time as my CD player, because that was blowing out the fuse in my CD player when the car was running. When the car wasn't running, it wasn't blowing it, but something about the running made it blow. That should all be connected now. Also, there's an orange wire which I didn't connect because that's an illumination wire, and they say something about blowing out your dash or something. So if you don't have, I didn't have the orange wire coming off here, so I didn't connect the orange wire. Because I don't know which video I'm gonna post now, because I had done a whole video of how to install it and then it didn't work and blah 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 blah, all of that. So I think I got it now, and we're gonna show that it should work. I'm not gonna, yeah, we're gonna do the setup on it too. Yes, 627. Yeah, we're gonna have it all working here. Yes. All right, now it should work when I hit this button. It should put the CD on. And there's sound. Exactly. And then when I turn it off, it goes off. Then when I turn it on, it should be still right at the same spot. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right, now there's that. Now, let me see if my tape deck works. But I'm definitely gonna. I'm definitely turning that off. I should pop that out too, because I blew enough fuses on this. I blew enough of those 10 amps where I don't have any left. And there's, let's see if the tape still works. There you go. It's good to always have the Project Pat tape. You just never know. You just never know when you might need it. And then this should be able to go back on. Yeah. All right, we did it. We got it. We did it. Well, now it's doing all types of weird stuff. All right, turn it off. Yes. All right, now I just got to put everything back, which isn't much. I still don't really want to screw it back together because you just never know when you might be in there again figuring out more stuff. But there it is. I hope that helps someone out there. Not the best. I don't know what that was. This is what happened. I was able to put this CD player with a stock deck. You should be able to do it too. Maybe you have a cubby hole here and you want to put a CD player and keep your stock tape deck. It's doable. There's different ways here. There's a couple different harnesses. Just to make sure you look at the stuff and see what you need. But I was able to work, see what your radio has on there, what your configuration is. But yeah, connect that blue wire if it has it, or whatever wire is like looped up next to the power is like, you know what I'm saying? And that needs to be connected. At least on this harness, there's a few videos out there and a few different people doing a few different things. So there's that. Hopefully it helps someone. Mike, I'm out here. Yeah, CD and tape. And not blowing fuses. Let's go.